everybody. Welcome back to Bravos Banter, the third installment of the Braves podcast here. Nick Alley. Today I'm joined by Reeves Jackson. Calvin's taking the day off. He'll be back for the next episode, though. So first of all, Reeves, how you doing?
Doing great, man. It's nice to be on as a special guest. Obviously, Calvin's got to do a little teller job at the bank, so it's nice to be joined by Joe.
Yeah, you're about the last person I want to see on my off day. But anyway, we also got Joe Lampe with us today, our second guest on the podcast here. Joe, how's everything going?
Going pretty well. Nice to fill up some time on the off day for sure. Thanks for having me.
Of course, glad to have you on. I want to first ask you here, being out in Bourne, how'd you kind of end up getting this gig out here, and what was kind of the recruiting process that brought you out on the Cape?
I pretty much got recruited here by word of mouth. So as you might know, I started at UC Davis my freshman year, and then ended up transferring to Santa Rosa Junior College, and then obviously back to Arizona State. And these last 2 summers, I played summer ball in the California Collegiate League. For my manager was Joey Gomes, and he has a brother named Johnny. Played 13 years in the bigs, won the World Series with the Red Sox, all that, hit the big homer. And Joey's pretty much been my mentor and hitting guy for my whole high school career, and then now into college. And his credibility and between his credibility and my stats I put up at the JC, I was able to get to Arizona State. And then the coach at Arizona State was able to relay me to Harvey because he sent pretty good players in the past, like Alika Williams, shortstop, and Lyle Lana, catcher, and help build a relationship with Coach Shapiro. And that's pretty much how I got signed here.
And what were your expectations coming out here? I mean, what did you kind of have in mind for how this was going to be? And did you expect the team to be this successful this early on in the year?
I didn't really know what to expect, except the pitching was going to be really good. And the way we got off to a hot start with our bats, obviously people were talking about it like that doesn't really happen too much in the Cape early on. And from that moment on, I knew this was going to be a special group, because even when we were showing up for the little 1.5-hour practices for the week before the season started, everyone was just having a great time, wanting to be here. And actually pretty funny, we had a group chat before anyone got here, and Eric Adler sent a text in the chat and said, "Hey guys, if we're going to be here, we might as well win it." So, and everyone was on board with it, and I think we're well on our way to putting up a good chance to winning that title.
Joe, first of all, have you always worn number 4, or is that just the number you were given here at Bourne?
So my grandpa wore number 4. He actually played professional baseball, only like a short stint for the Boston Braves back in the day, left-handed pitcher. He wore number 4, and then obviously my cousin played high school, and then went to play Division I baseball at St. Mary's, and he wore number 4 as well. And then I just carried on the tradition, and that's my lucky number.
Love it. And obviously, outside of the aspect of having guys come together on one team from many different schools that are the best in the nation, what's another aspect of this team that's different than what you would experience at Arizona State or even any of your other 2 previous schools?
Yeah, so wherever I go, I pride myself on winning games and being the best, and pretty much creating a culture that hates losing. And to get here and have all those guys on the same page, everyone wants to play their best. Everyone wants to beat the other team. So when you have everyone firing on all cylinders to do that, it's pretty special, because you don't even get that at college sometimes.
Yeah, and speaking of those guys coming from all over, like when I'm down by the dugout, I hear all these slang terms and this terminology going on. Like, I know you got Josh Moylan calling everyone a bot. I know you guys are always talking about someone has a deep fly out, not enough juice. And then, there's a ton, like I've heard so much down there. Well, what are some of your favorite kind of team terms that you guys have kind of been shouting out down there and keeping each other like kind of upbeat with?
One that I didn't really know about was bot. And
Yeah.
from my perspective, I haven't really got too much insight. But if some guy is playing stiff with like not real, doesn't really look like he's having a good time or something like that, like playing really uptight, he's moving like a robot, and like that's pretty much what I got from that. So, and then another one obviously is Juice. We gave a lot of crap to Caden Wallace because he would always hit fly outs to the warning track, and told him that he had to go lift a few more curls in the weight room. But yeah, obviously we missed that guy right now, but hope the best for him. And yeah, those are just a few of the slang words.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you guys have like your whole kind of language that you've seemed to establish down there. I know it's stuff that I don't even know what it means at this point. I'm starting to like crack the code a little bit, but there's still some things where I need a few more weeks to kind of get that under my belt. And I know like too, you got guys from all over the country as well. We had Cole Chudoba on last week. He's kind of a local guy, New England guy. For you, I mean, what are some of the Massachusetts terms that you're kind of trying to get used to out here? I know we got like wicked. I know
Yep,
I think everyone, I believe, did people call a rotary a roundabout out by you?
they do.
They do.
Yep.
So
That's the correct way. That's the correct way.
no, it's not, Reeves. No, it's not. Um, has that been a bit of an adjustment for you? I know you're a California guy. You still trying to get
yeah,
kind of acclimated with that?
the rotaries they're pretty wild with the 3 lanes,
It's
Yeah.
especially if
I
you
don't I don't even
getting out from the inside lane is crazy.
I don't even know if there's supposed to be 3 lanes. I think that was just kind of a
Yeah,
rash decision by people because
yeah.
it's impossible.
And then the other slang. I was just gonna say the main ones that came to mind we're talking about East Coast was mad and wicked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, Joe, I
I
feel you on
hear
that.
those a lot.
Well, yeah, this guy's in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what I make fun of his slang all the time because he's got some, on the coasts, I feel like it's not too different. But this guy, I mean, he's talking about grits and gravy all the time, chicken
Yeah,
and
never. I've
waffles.
never had grits. I had it for the first time out here, and people were thinking I was crazy because I never had it.
I mean, Nick's never been to Waffle House. I feel like that's a crime.
No way.
I've
Yeah,
never been.
That's crazy.
that's crazy.
I,
So Joe, obviously,
you know,
obviously pitchers. I was a pitcher in high school, but I had
all right,
superstitions.
humble brag. Yeah, okay. I was a pitcher in high school. Yeah,
No,
all
no,
right.
no. So obviously, superstitions big part of the game. So let's hear some of yours.
Yeah, as far as preparation goes, I don't really have too many superstitions, but a funny one that we developed this season was obviously the pine tar ball. We're on phase 3 now because we just got our third loss. But so once we start this game, whoever's on the bench will end up crafting that tar ball. It's pretty funny because it comes out all different ways. The first one was just super sticky, maybe had some sunflower seeds in it, and then this last one was just covered in mud and grass from the bullpen. And I think that's a pretty funny little thing to rally around and play for. So that's pretty much the only one I've been doing.
So tell me, whose job has it been to make the pine tar ball? If someone's on the bench, you say someone's on the
Hey,
bench. Is it a position?
Yeah,
do not give away too much for the story here. Do not give away too
true.
much.
True. Yeah, just the guy on the bench. So we'll see who that is. The first one was Colby, and then Caden. So we'll see who this next one is. We're running out of outfielders, man. So
I know.
Yeah.
You guys got to sign someone, bring someone in, craft a new rendition of this thing. Yeah, I
exactly.
had mentioned to Reeves, I'm working on a story on the pine tar ball.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know we talked the other day. Is this going to have to be like I mean, you're the guy behind this thing, basically. So you think I should publish this thing end of year thing, have like a saga of this pine tar ball?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we'll just kind of
hopefully we finish around with 3 losses, but if we end up getting a 4, then yeah, you could do the 4 different phases of the ball that carried us through the season or something like that.
yeah, it's got to be. I think it's got to be because
Exactly.
I mean this thing's just carrying on right now, and who knows? You guys are in a good spot to make playoffs. Well, you're definitely going to make playoffs if barring a horrific
A
disaster,
landslide.
a horrific disaster. you guys should be good to go for playoffs. And then, I mean, you guys are in obviously a great spot with this team. I also want to talk about an aspect of this team too. When you guys are bringing in new guys and stuff, what's it kind of like getting acclimated to guys on the fly and getting guys used to the culture that you guys have established here, especially as the guys that have been with the team all season?
I think it's a good experience because stuff like that happens all the time in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
And I kind of had experience with it these last couple summers because I played summer ball, luckily, when I was fresh out of high school. So bringing in guys and developing relationships, it's pretty easy to bond around baseball, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So you just find a little common ground, talk about maybe what school they're from, what they like to do, stuff like that. I think it's pretty easy to get someone acclimated to a team setting from that perspective.
And yeah, obviously, when you're on a place like the Cape, the baseball is great. There's no doubt about it. It's a grind with the schedule. Certainly get you used to a minor league schedule, even a major league schedule. Not in terms of the length of the season, but definitely in terms of the workload and just kind of the routine and stuff. You get the few off days here and there. Today being one of them. What's an off day look like for you? I mean, are you too tired to do anything, or have you actually been able to kind of get out and do stuff, see the Cape?
Yeah, so I think we've had 3 off days so far. First one, I ended up riding my bike to the gym. That was
Sounds real exhilarating. I mean, what a
yeah,
way to
that's
spend your off
not
day.
much of an off day. Yeah,
Nice
3 mile bike.
relaxation,
Yeah, 3 mile bike ride to the gym, workout, and then ride back. But and then other than that, I just watched some movies, stuff like that. And then the second off day, my aunt and uncle were actually in town, and we ended up going to Martha's Vineyard. Saw that. That was pretty cool. Ended up seeing their little college team coming over the ferry when we were coming in.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
was like, pretty funny. And then another off day, I just hung out with Colby Thomas. We ended up going and get some breakfast and then getting a little lift in. So usually I'm getting a lift on the off day, doing some recovery for the body, but nothing too major other than that. I think my mom will be here for this next off day, so we'll see
nice.
we'll see what she wants to do.
You got to take her out to eat or something. I mean,
oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah,
What's your
you stole my next question. My question was, pick the one place that best restaurant here that you've eaten at.
I'm gonna go one breakfast, one dinner. Okay,
Go for
I'm going the blueberry muffin. That's
Where's
hands
that
down.
That in Bourne?
In Plymouth.
In Plymouth. Okay.
It's called the blueberry muffin.
The best breakfast spot around.
Okay.
Is it?
Got to get the lumberjack. They got it. It's got it all. It's got eggs, bacon, toast, 2 big pancakes, home fries. It's a feast and it's great. And then for dinner, I like the courtyard. Is what it's called.
Yeah.
They got a really nice outdoor little setup there, and it's good stuff in that little sports bar they got. Great food too. So
we were there with KG actually, not too long ago. We were.
Yeah.
We were with Daniel as well.
Yeah.
That place is. What'd you have? Did you have?
I went the chicken broccoli Alfredo, but I was with my aunt and uncle, and then their friends were here, so they bought like 6 different appetizers, and I was already full, so I ended up just eating a little bit of that and having it for lunch. But the appetizers were good, just a lot of seafood. I'm a big seafood guy,
so you're in the right place out here.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the go-to seafood that you go with?
Oh, that's tough. I had my first lobster roll the other day, and it was great. So
all right, well now I have to know, is the seafood better out here or is it better in California?
I think it's better out here.
All right. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, yeah, California too. I don't think anyone on the East Coast, unless they've been to California, knows what happens there. Like, I've been there once when I was younger. It was kind of like this mystical place. I feel like everyone surfs, goes home, eats like a salad, and then comes back and tries to like clean the ocean. And like, that's a day in California right there. I mean, what's a typical day in the life of Joe Lampe look like in California? I mean, what are you guys kind of doing out there? And, what's kind of been your favorite part of growing up on the West Coast?
To be honest, I'm not much of a beach guy. I'm more of a lake guy.
Okay.
Like my dad grew up on the lake. We share a boat with my aunt and uncle, and so a typical day, let's just say a summer day when I'm going to the lake, you wake up about 6:30, 7 a.m. Obviously, hook the trailer to the back of the car, and then get in the car with my cousins, ride out. Usually get there about 8:30 or 9. Uh, hang out on the water all day, have lunch, wakeboard, go tubing, and then just enjoying some sun and some nice warm weather. And then on the way back, stop at some. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, Foster's Freeze.
No.
Oh no, get a nice big old ice cream. Always got to get an ice cream after the lake.
Yeah.
And then get back, clean the boat, and then that's pretty much it for the day. Have a nice dinner and hang out.
How would you say what's your skill level at wakeboarding? Expert, moderate?
No. I'm just a moderate guy. My buddy can do the flips and stuff. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
So
I've never seen it before.
Does this mean you're considered a bot at wakeboarding?
Yeah, I think I would say I'm a bot at wakeboarding. I can maybe get a foot or two of air, but no, my buddy, the first time he did a flip, I was like, holy crap, how do you not break your neck?
That is great. So Joe, talk about, obviously there's a lot of guys that you're close with on the team now, but who was kind of the first person that you met that you kind of clicked with right away?
First person that I met, I'd say Colby Thomas. We're pretty good friends. I think that guy's he's really funny. And obviously when you have similar interests with someone, like working out, playing baseball, it's pretty easy to click. But yeah, he was, and I also needed a ride to the field, so that it worked out.
That'll do it.
But yeah, good kid.
And on this team, there's a ton of personalities. Ton of guys. As I said, with the language you guys established, I know all the jokes go around the dugout and stuff. If you had to pick like 2 or 3 of the funniest guys, you can pick yourself here too, if you want to go that route. Who would you say are some of the guys that are really, really kind of the team comedians?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Dalton Rushing. He always gets Harvey to laugh too, which you don't see too often.
I've never seen that, honestly.
I know. So I'd say Dalton Rushing, and then Josh Moreland is pretty dang funny. With all of his slang terms, and just he always keeps the dugout loose.
It seems like it. I mean, you guys are always having fun down there, always joking around. And I know, like, you mentioned Harvey too. How is it playing for him? Obviously, he's coached numerous teams. He's seen a ton of great players in his time coaching. How is it kind of learning from a guy like that and being able to be coached by someone with kind of that much history in the Cape Cod League?
Being more of an old style player, I would say myself, with the speed, more of a contact hitter. Playing for a guy like Harvey, who kind of is still in that old style of coaching, is pretty refreshing, because he understands where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to do. So he's always reminding me and giving me little tips to help improve my game, or just lock it in more and stay on top of my game. Because for a little bit there, I was trying to do too much, and hopefully I'm back on track now. But yeah, that's just having common ground with the coach is big, and me and Harvey are on the same page. So
that's awesome.
And Joe, what's it been like also on the topic of coaches? What's it been like with assistant coach KG Kevin Graber, and obviously all the other assistant coaches, and what you've kind of picked from their brains and what you've learned from them?
I've never seen a more energetic guy in my life than KG. That guy it's pretty impressive, to be honest. He rides his bike 6.5, 7 miles to the field, throws BP. It's and his BP is money too. It's crazy, and I'm grateful that guy's on my side. And just when things aren't going right, just having a guy like that to keep pushing you and just keeping everything positive is really great. And then our pitching coach Ed, He's super funny as well. He runs the little kids camps. I've been doing those. I did it the first 2 weeks, and I think he's just really funny. He just talks about his prior experiences here in the Cape because he's been coaching for a few years, and just funny hunting stories of when he's back at home. It's the guy's really funny. And then Wayne,
Oh
I
yeah.
love Wayne. I love Wayne's, like his accent is what really got me the first time. I was like, dang, that is a thick accent right there. And he's just a really good guy, and that's all you can ask for out of the staff is just a bunch of great guys that want the kids to succeed, and it's pretty fun atmosphere.
And going back, I know you're doing the kids camps. How have those been going? I mean, was this your first time kind of mentoring kids, or have you had prior experience with that?
No, this was my first time, and it was pretty fun. It's really tiring actually
Oh
because
yeah.
in order to be the top counselor, I had the kids cheering my name at the end. They were cheering for Joe, but in order to be the top guy, you obviously got to have the best station. And at first we were doing some I had the fly ball station. At first we were doing some pop ups, some grounders, stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Let's it's me and Josh Eknes. I was like, let's play some pickle. So we ended up getting a massive game of pickle, and next thing you know, an hour and a half later, after all the kids rotated, me and Josh are just drenched in sweat, just trying to tag all these little kids. And in the end, they loved it. And that's, I'd say, for the most part, built like all the kids are coming up to me after the game saying, Joe, Joe. And I think it's just pretty cool. So
How many of you guys were there as the kind of counselors for that?
I think there was about 6 or 7 of
Six
us.
or seven?
Yeah.
Who's the worst one? I need to know who's the worst with kids on the team.
The worst one with kids. I would say Napjack, honestly.
Really?
Oh,
It's not that he's like a bad one. I think he just is coasting when he's out there,
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. Everyone loves X, everyone loves Etheridge. Actually, from a voting standpoint, it was Josh Etheridge, because we did do a vote of who they liked the most, and Josh didn't get any votes, but Josh puts in a lot of effort. So I have to go Napjack, honestly.
All right.
okay,
Yep.
Joe. So I guess on that topic, talk about little kids. Who's the I guess prototypical team dad? The kid that's not going to go out and party at school, who kind of stays in, kind of a more laid back, relaxed personality who kind of watches over the team. Is there anybody like that? Any personalities like that on the team?
I think that is Ben Etheridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what reason? Just other than his personality?
I haven't really hung out with him a ton, but from what I see in the group chat, they're always trying to get him to come out because he never comes out. So I just assume that he's just a more stay home body and more responsible kid.
Okay.
Hey, hey, you can do whatever you want when you're pitching well. That's my philosophy. Just get it done on the field.
He actually had an interaction with his grandparents the other day, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes. And it was kind of because of my doing.
Playing Nick.
I mean, they came up to you.
They did.
You can take it away, but first of all, can you hear them broadcasting when you guys are playing?
I am, yeah.
You can't hear them?
Yep.
I guess what at Wareham, especially third base.
Yeah.
And we're on top of the.
No, I always, whenever I'm on deck, I hear
broadcast circle.
Joe Lampe on deck.
Get the broadcast voice going. I like it.
So they have me on for like an inning when Daniel has to go pee because the kid's bladder is terrible.
Yeah.
And they put me on, and I make fun of his southern accent probably nine days out of 10.
Which I don't think I don't think he does it more for just to poke fun at me. So anyway, so Ben Etheridge's grandparents, they walk into White House Field the other day. We're at Harwich, and before even saying like nice to meet you, they just go, "Hey, so you're the Georgia kid, so your accent really isn't as bad as Nick says it is." I'm like, "Thank you. You know what, Nick?"
That's funny.
It is. I think it is, but
can you tell Joe? I don't think it's bad.
I can't really tell.
Yeah.
honestly.
You don't need to hype his ego up anymore. Run with that for the next 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
Joe, is there any other Arizona State kids? I can't remember off the top of my head that are playing other than
Wareham, right?
Yeah, so we were supposed to have 6 or 7, I think, here. So Hunter Haas and Nate Byes were on YD.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them left early because one of them had a little shoulder thing, and then another one dislocated his finger. And then we have a pitcher on New Orleans, and his name's Nick Walshett. I think he was on the All-Star team.
Yeah, it was.
And then Jack Moss was on our team, and then he transferred to Texas A&M, but I don't think he's playing in the Cape anymore. He was on Orleans. And then, so pretty much it's just, what's the last one? Sean McClain is on Wareham now after coming from Team USA. So it's me, Sean McClain, and Nick Walsh that are the last ones standing, if you would say.
Did you get to face Nick, or what's it like, I guess, in general, if any of your teammates? I know some of the Rushing and Napcheck have gotten to face a few Louisville pitchers. We've talked about that on the broadcast. So what's it like for those guys? And if you faced Nick, I'm not sure if you did in that game against Orleans, but what's it like for those guys to get a hack at their college teammates?
I mean, you get a ton of at bats in the fall, so obviously it's one of your more comfortable, fun at bats. So. Yeah. I honestly think that we'll get Nick on Friday in Orleans. The only time we played him this year, that was one of my down days. So I plan on facing Nick and hopefully continue my success against him.
I guess, okay, so same topic. Who, if a pitcher gets a hitter out or if a hitter gets a base hit, which of those guys brags more when the other thing happens? Does the hitter brag more to the pitcher, I got a base hit off you, or if the pitcher strikes you out, does he brag more that he struck you out?
I think it's either the biggest bragging thing is if the pitcher strikes you out, honestly.
Okay.
But if you take them deep, then that tops all of it. But that obviously doesn't happen too much. But I mean, a strikeout is definitely weighs more than a little base hit.
Okay.
There's no doubt. I know. Final question before we head into our last segment to wrap up the podcast here. Sean plays third base, right?
Yeah, he played second at school, but he played third at USA and third here. So
yeah, so I know before the game I had heard you saying you were going to lay down a bunt down the third base line to him, I believe, and I don't think you did. So I think do we see Wareham? Yeah, I remember that. Do we see Wareham one more time?
We do.
So does the bunt come that time?
No doubt. I'm gonna do it this time for sure.
All right, you're locking it in.
Yeah, I need to test them.
We'll clip it. We might have to. We clip part of the episode, put it on Twitter. This might be the part. I don't know. It could. There's good moments. I gotta watch the tape back, but this is a high candidate for that moment. So
Sean McClain knows I'm coming for him. So
I think you just might have. I think you might have just made this clip material, Joe Lampe. But we always like to wrap up the podcast here. We each come up, me and Reeves anyway, we each come up with a question. Reeves asks it to Joe and myself. I'll ask it to you, Reeves, and you, Joe. It's got to be a unique question, non-baseball related, just kind of like, I know first episode, me and Calvin asked each other our favorite high school teacher. Second episode, we asked Coach Udoba one athlete we could sit down with to know everything about. Question, like any question gets answered, everything's out on the table. I picked O.J. Simpson. I said I got to know if he killed those people, but we'll see what happens there. Reeves, you have a question off the top of your head for me and Joe. Do you want me to go first here?
Nick, you go for it. I'll go suit.
I was really hoping you had a question because now I gotta think.
The spot. You didn't warn me about this segment.
Yeah, well, I probably should have brought that up. I think I got a decent one. If you could travel to one place outside of the country, it's got to be outside the United States. Where would it be and why? And who would you take with you? And it could be anyone, family, friends, or a famous person, just anyone you want at all. Who would you take with you? If one of you has an answer, feel free to take it away.
I'll go first, I guess. I'll probably just keep it basic. I don't really have any desire to go to Europe or anything like that. So I'll probably just say, let's go to Cabo with
Okay.
my high school buddy Connor, who's actually coming to ASU this fall. So that'll be cool.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick, great question. I think just because last week was Shark Week, I'd go to like coast of New Zealand or Australia with like certified professionals. And
Yeah, what are you trying to get eaten? Like be a
you know what?
victim of a
If I
shark
do,
attack?
if I do, Nick, then you see less of me. So,
Hey, go to New Zealand, man. Take it away. Honestly.
oh, okay. All right, I got a question for you guys. What is the most what's the most useless talent that you guys have that you guys can display or brag? A useless talent, just something that you can do that no one else can, and that you've done it all throughout your life.
All right.
And,
I got mine, I think.
Okay. All right, Nick, go for it then.
I am disgusting at skee ball.
Okay.
Like absolutely gross. Do you have Chuck E. Cheese by you guys?
Yeah, we do.
I used to go there growing up all the time and just winning jackpots. I remember the employees would come by, see like my load of tickets like sitting there, and they like thought I was cheating, and like they would get concerned. But I was just winning the jackpot consistently,
Would
hitting
you say
100.
what? Well, what's the is that 1,000 is the highest, or what's the
100, I think, at Chuck E.
Okay,
Cheese.
okay, yeah, okay,
I
that's right.
believe.
So you said 100 every time?
You're a Chuck E. Cheese casual. That's what you are. But um, I was just hitting 100 every single time, and I was disgusting. My entire life, like my parents were confused. My like cousins were, because like my cousins and I would go. They were confused, but it never turned into anything. I mean, no one goes pro in skee ball. I got no college aid from it, so you know that's kind of my most useless talent. I think I'd say.
That's why it's useless. Yeah,
It is.
For my most useless talent, it's probably NBA 2K.
Really? What's the
I'm
go-to
a
team?
it's not team play. It's my part when you create your own player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was not to brag, but in NBA 2K16, I was probably the best stretch four in the game. I couldn't.
Really?
I could do everything, and I could make half court shots with a freaking 7-footer. It was crazy.
so you taking down streamers? You beating
The
streamers?
biggest. Oh yeah, the biggest win streak I had on a court. I think it was the twos court. I had like a 58 game win streak. It was crazy. It took so long, and I didn't even lose. It lagged me out of the park.
Were you up? Were you up for like how long that take? Were you up like 3 days straight? Just
No, it took at least 5 or 6 hours though, because no one wanted to play us because it gets that big fire around the court. You know,
yes.
They didn't want the work.
when you win, it was insane. But yeah, if I could do anything in the paint, outside the paint. It was the cheat code. But then I ended up just fading away from video games. But
Yeah, baseball's a little better.
oh yeah, 2K16 was a fun time for sure.
I don't even know if that's useless. I mean, you could parlay that into a nice little Twitch career now or something.
I mean, I was actually running Twitch for a little bit. I got
Were you?
close to 1,000 followers, I think, when I was running. The most viewers I ever had was around 100 for one of them, because I did a lot of clickbait.
Hey, whatever brings the people in.
Exactly. I was doing some tryouts for a fake clan for my threes team. So
I mean, the title of this podcast episode is going to be huge clickbait. We're going to say Joe Lampe exposes former teammate. You know, just literally,
yeah.
have it in there just so people click on it. But I don't know, man. You're giving me story ideas here. I might have to cover the gaming career of Joe Lampe now.
Oh man, yeah, it's a little outdated, but
I mean,
that was
hey,
fun times for sure.
the career happened. But listen, man, I mean, great to have you on today. Awesome podcast, we think. And you know, I would say it'll be a while till we see you, but tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, I mean, it's gonna be quick turnaround here. So Joe, I mean, thanks so much for joining us.
Enjoyed it,
All
Jeff.
right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for having me on.
We'll see you then. Of course, Joe Lampe, everyone, alongside Nick Gallen, Reeves Jackson. Make sure you check out our podcast episode coming out this weekend. Calvin will be back. Again, thanks so much to Joe for joining us, and we'll talk to you guys soon.